Hey guys, Blazie here, and welcome back to another lazy Blazie review. This time on the movie Spiral, which is a part of the Saw franchise. So, as people may know, I am a huge fan of horror movies and monster films and all that kind of stuff. I love my gore. I love watching people die. I really do. I love that kind of stuff. And something that's fun about the Saw movies is I do like the inventiveness, you know. I like watching movies that come up with new ways of people dying. And the Saw franchise is generally pretty good at that. It's generally pretty good. I like the Saw franchise. I really do. It's like a modern day Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween, you know, that kind of thing. It's like our generation's version of all those kind of stuff. And yeah, it definitely changed after the first one quite a lot. I understand why people don't like the other ones as much as the first one, but I for one, I love all of them, and maybe one day I'll do a big review of all of them, or like do like a little waking system kind of thing of all those movies. Maybe I'll do something, but for now, let's just talk about the new one, Spiral. So, what did I think of it? Well, Spiral is very much a spin-off. Very much is. It never really classified itself as anything else. It was always a spin-off. It was always not Saw, which is why it's called Spiral. You know, it's a different movie, just set in the same universe. And it was all sort of like made by Chris Rock. Yeah, Chris Rock, the comedian. He had this idea for this movie. He had like this big sort of idea for it, and apparently the studios loved it, and they went for it. And he acts in it, and I have to say, his acting is really good. I really enjoyed him in this movie. Like, yeah, it doesn't always work. He has a comedic voice. I'm sorry, but it is kind of comedic, so it doesn't always work. But for the most part, I think he actually did a really good job. Like, it's more or less, I'm surprised by how good it was, you know? It wasn't bad. He did a really good job, and I really enjoyed him in this movie, so I'm kind of really hoping he'll be in more Saw movies, or like more serious horror films and all this kind of stuff. I want to see him more. I miss him. In general, I miss seeing Chris Rock in movies. You know, love the dude. But yeah, he did a really good job in this one. And this movie, this movie is different. Again, it's a spin-off. But you know, it's still part of that series, so it's kind of like you're going to put it next to those films and like question if it is the same, if it's worthy, was it a good reason to bring it back. I'm very with some things in the films. Okay, let's just talk about the traps. You know, the traps are a big thing. Some of the traps are good. I like the first one and how that was done. I don't know if I want to spoil it. No, I won't spoil anything. I won't try to. If I do spoil something, I apologize. This, again, is a Lazy Blazie review for those who haven't maybe watched a Lazy Blazie review before. It's lazy. There's no script, no nothing. I don't really add things to it. For the most part, I mean, it's still out of cinema, so I can't grab footage and stuff that wasn't shown in trailers. So, you know, that's just how one of these reviews work. It's just I just talk. So yeah, the traps. Some of them were good. I think they're all kind of big. They're all kind of like on a big scale. They required a lot of like equipment, I guess. Well, like it's not something I don't mind. I like it, I do. But I also just like the real simple ones, like the face trap kind of ones. I like that. There's sure, some of them will be like, oh, you gotta, get rid of this, you need to go find the key, which is all covered in this and blah 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 blah. But it's still a simple trap, you know. Some of the other some of them in this movie seemed a bit more bigger in a way. I don't know, there was something about them that just, it did feel different to me. I'm not quite sure really, sorry, but it did feel a little bit different. But it's not that I didn't like them, because I did like them. There was some good ones in there. I did like that first one, and I like how that ended. Something happens and it's kind of great. To me, anyway. I kind of, it made me giggle. It shouldn't, but it kind of did. One of the weird things about this film is that it felt like a 90s, like an 80s, 90s cop movie. It felt like the movie Seven. I believe that's what the movie's called. The one with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. It felt like that movie. It had that kind of feel of like a 90s cop movie. There was just something about it that made it just feel that little bit different. But I actually kind of enjoyed that. I was never bored. In this movie. And there has been like, in like one or two of the Saw movies, I have gotten like pretty bored during a couple of scenes. But this one, like, it generally kept a good flow of energy. It kept going, and I never got bored. I did watch a review that mentioned like that they never really did have moments of them just kind of sitting down and talking, which is kind of true, yes, but I don't mind that, because it's a Saw movie. You know what to expect anyway, and for the most part, yeah, I thought it was good. Like, it does just keep kind of going, so yeah, you're never really bored. Unless you just don't enjoy that kind of stuff, then then of course you're going to be bored. But for the most part, the acting is good. The acting's good. I'm sorry. Okay, so the main plot focuses more on cops, right? This movie was supposed to come out last year for 2020. And it would have worked so well if it did. Like, it's kind of spoilery, kind of not, but this movie is very political. It's very political. Especially even that ending, I would say, is pretty political. Let's just say cops suck in this movie. Besides one, the black guy. Let's just say that. So this movie is different because Jigsaw is not a cop killer, but this one is. This one is like, is especially going after cops. So it's like, oh shit, okay, so what's going on? Who is he? You know, it's still a mystery. It's not the same person as in Jigsaw, the last movie, which I liked. I liked the last one a lot. I thought that was a really good comeback for Saw. So I'm sad to see that this one is very different. I prefer that movie. I actually do think this is one of the more weaker films, but that doesn't make it a bad film. I know which one. I can't remember what one it is. But there's like one particular Saw movie which I would call the worst of the lot, and it's nowhere near that bad. It's a really good film. It's a really good film, as I said. Like, it's like a 90s cop kind of feel to it. It's just, yeah, different. It's just that slightly bit different. Something's different about it. And I feel like part of that is because of the political agenda it's trying to tell. And I'm fine with it. It works really well in this movie. It does. Like, it really does work. And there's a couple little subtleties here and there. And I like it, but there is one big thing. Again, I won't really spoil it, but you know Saw. There's got to be a twist. There's got to be a twist, and then normally, like, my most favourite moments of the film is waiting until you hear that music, that Saw music come up, and it's like, oh yes, okay, here we go, here comes the big twist. Here comes like all the flashback scenes, and you actually get to understand exactly what was going on in the background and everything. Hell yeah. I love that. I love those scenes so much. They're so well edited and just so fun. But here, it was bad. That is like the big thing in this movie, right? The twist. But the twist was really lame. It was, okay, no, the big twist. Okay, no, sorry, it was the whodunit twist. What was bad. The story of why isn't bad. That's fine. But the story of, like, the twist of, who did it was real bad because it's really obvious. It's extremely obvious. Especially after one of the kills. And it's like, well, yeah, okay, that's him. Well, okay, yeah, like, you did a really bad job of editing that it makes it really obvious that's him. You know, you're not supposed to think it's him, you know, but it's like just really badly edited. Like, it's very much like a turn your brain off kind of thing. It's like, oh, people would turn their brains off and not really pay attention. You know, it's just a slasher film, you know, it's just people dying, you know, that's all they want to see. But in Saw movies, you're always thinking, because you're always thinking about who did it. So, no, I'm not going to switch my brain off and watching a Saw movie. I'm going to keep it activated so I can, you know, pay attention to all the little details. Because I love picking up all the little details of these movies. That's what I love about Saw. It's one of the things I do love about Saw anyway. You do pick up those little details. And, you know, you pick up the choice of wording and everything. But sadly, it just, yeah, the twist was... The twist of who done it was really weak, and I hated that. I hated it. The biggest problem I have with that movie is just how weak that was. The initial plot and everything isn't bad. I also don't like the new voice. They don't use like Jigsaw's voice, which like other characters have used in other movies. But they used like a new one, and I hated it. It's not threatening at all. The original Jigsaw voice is so good, you know. It's iconic. It's iconic. This new one, nah, I've heard it before, and it's not threatening at all. I like the pigs. They do a lot more of like the pig mask and all that kind of stuff. I have like this little pig character who I kind of liked, and it's also like as I mentioned, it's political. Like the cops are assholes, and yeah, that's. You do notice the pig is in like a cop uniform, and I kind of like that. It's very subtle. It's kind of subtle, but it is kind of like it has like a double meaning, you know, when you look a little bit into it, and I kind of like that. Oh yeah, Samuel L. Jackson is in it. Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson in a Saw film. That I never expected to happen at all. I guess, yeah, Chris Rock just had a really good idea. And I do like the idea. I do like the initial story and the political thing, you know. Like, normally I don't, but this one I feel like it does work. I did like it. And yeah, you know, Samuel L. Jackson, you know, he's great. He does his iconic motherfucker line. he does that, but, you know, it's like, you know, do you want to play a game? And it's like, oh, I'll play a game, motherfucker, or something like that. It's like, yes, they did it at the right time, you know, that you want to hear it at. So overall, it's not a bad movie. It's well acted. It has some decent, traps. The gore is not huge. Like, it's very kind of minimalistic with the gore, and I guess that's like also one of the things I'm disappointed by, but one of the things I do kind of respect, because it's not trying to be a gore fest. It is trying to tell a different story. And so that's kind of cool. I kind of appreciate that. You know, but there's another part of me that's like, nah, come on, give us the gore. And then they do a little bit of editing and camera work that doesn't show it as much as you want it to. Especially on one of the traps, which again I won't go through. But that's just me though, you know. I love the gore and I love all the horror shit. But yeah, for what it is, it's a pretty enjoyable movie. It's a nice cop kind of movie. And when you go in like thinking like that, yeah, you will probably enjoy it. Is this like a good Saw film? It's not the worst. It's not the worst. I just feel like the twist is very weak. And there was like a couple things there where there was a couple things there that I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. Or I hope they explore that in further movies, because Saw 10 has already been announced. Yeah, they already announced the next movie, I believe, apparently, yeah. So, hells yeah. I'm excited to see what they do next. If they follow with this storyline anyway, or these characters. If they don't, whatever. I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I will give this movie a 6 out of 10 foxes. I enjoyed it. It was good. It was just that one thing that I don't like, and a couple little other nitpicks, but that's just me. For what it is a spin-off. Was always going to be a spin-off. If this was very much the next Saw movie, then I feel like, yeah, I would have issues with it. But it is a spin-off, and Chris Rock does a great job in it. So I recommend this movie if you like dying, if you like to watch people die. You know, it's an enjoyable film. It is. Like I said, the energy in it, like, it's very, it keeps going. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this Lazy Blazie review. I am forgetting my outro, as usual. If you did like... It's been a while since I made a video. It's been a while. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to my channel, because I love you if you do. Hit that bell icon. And VitoFox says, be who you want to be. Alright guys, bye for now.